Who walks there in the forest of Caliban? It's none other than the lion. Doo, doo, doo. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Lupe the Toy Lord, and I bring to you an item that I have been waiting for the longest, ever since, I believe, I want to say October of last year. They had this go on pre-order last year on November. No, actually not November. My bad. August. And then once I first heard about that, pre-ordered. It was supposed to come in October. It didn't. November. It didn't. December. It didn't. January. Until officially came out in February. And I didn't ship everything out until I had my other things shipped. Voice crack there. And yeah, I mean, I tried my best to not look at any videos of this figure, and once I found out that all my things were able to come in, immediately shipped this, and now I have it. And I wanted to do something special with this video. I wanted this to be the 5th video, but I cannot wait any longer. I have to record it. I have to make a video about this. And yeah, I mean, I joined actually at a good time with Warhammer. If you haven't seen my previous video on one of the intercessors, I have Nadale. He is phenomenal. He is my 3rd JoyToy that I've bought and opened. I have 2 other ones that I want to make later in the coming weeks. But this figure, I'm so glad that I, like I said, joined or got into Warhammer. He got recent new lore updates, I believe, on the book Sons of the Forest, which in that book, banging all these wires over here. In that book in particular, Lion, who wakes up in his 10,000 year nap, pretty much, he wakes up to pretty much the Dark Angels into a shit show. So it is also kind of a redeeming book for the Lion. He pretty much was this asshole. He got the job done, but he was this huge asshole to everyone. He was super secretive. He wouldn't even tell his sons, quote unquote, what he was doing until he did it. So that is something that was redeemed about him. He cares a lot about his sons, and he's what in the Legion itself, what you call the Fallen. So it's a little bit play on words, Dark Angels, the Fallen. The Fallen are pretty much heretics, but some of them thought that the Lion betrayed them. So he's going around trying to redeem, the so-called Fallen, but they're not really heretics. They're just lost sons. So he does that, and unfortunately, stemming back to his roots, he doesn't really tell his other sons that didn't betray him that he's now reconscribed his fallen angels to dark angels. They're now called the Forgiven, or the Unforgiven, the Forgiven, whichever one. So he's keeping that a secret from his day one loyal dark. It's a little bit to get into, but none other than, just get straight into the video. It's going to be a little bit longer than my other videos, so bear with me. There's a lot to talk about, and yes, let's get straight into it. So, in good old JoyToy fashion, you have the box. This is actually a big box compared to the other normal boxes. Probably about this is probably a good 2/3 bigger than the other figures that I've gotten. So, yeah, good old fashioned JoyToy. Same box art design. You get the God Emperor over here. Boop, there he goes. I'm doing it this way. See, the line right there. See up there the JoyToy brand. And then up down here, you have Dark Angel's Primarch, Lionel Johnson. He is a Primarch, or he's the God Emperor's son. He is one of 20, but 2 of them haven't been announced or are supposedly dead. So he's the First Legion, and the Astartes, I believe, is what they are called, the Space Marines. So on the side of the box, you get a God Emperor right there behind all that plastic. This is the new wrap, I believe. I haven't seen this in any of their other ones, but I could be wrong. This is because they could be something they could have been doing maybe 2-3 months ago, but because I got this a little bit late, it's, no worries there. Although I did get this on BBTS, Big Bad Toy Store. It's not on them for getting it late. It could have been maybe a shipping discrepancy, or something could have happened there, but it's no worries though. No, I ain't complaining. At least I have mine in hand. So yeah, so back of the box, see Primarch Lionel Johnson. I see the Watchers right here. I believe in the book the Watchers have been taking care of him. Apparently no one knew. He was taking a nap in, I believe, the fortress, which is a piece of the Caliban rock, or a piece of Caliban. They called it the rock, or the fort. I think it's the rock. And yeah, no one knew the lion was napping on the ship there. So for 10,000 years, yeah, they had no clue. So you get to see some of his accessories. I'll get into that a little bit later. Get close-up shots. Back shot there. Pause. You get a front shot there with his helmet. You get some helmet hood, and hooded non-helmet, and non-hooded no helmet. So that's cool. I always like different heads. You can put on your characters. So yeah. Other side of the box, nothing. Bottom of the box, Warhammer. Yeah, it might be loud. I'm probably banging this box all over the place, but let's take this bad boy out and just get straight into it. All right. So before I take him out the box, this is how it looks. Real nice, super nice. You get some of his alternate heads here, and this is honestly really nice packaging. It took forever to take out because it was so airtight that it was just beep, beep, just taking a while to get out. But from first glance, just amazing. Super stunned, or not stunned, but fascinated how well the packaging looks. And I did pay $169, $159. I can't remember the top of my head. This is an expensive figure, but I was willing to pay. I don't know if you can see, but see some weathering there. You'll see why these cost quite a bit. And yeah, let's rip this off and then have them posed. I'll have to adjust the camera here so it'll look a little bit weird or a little bit different, because how much padding there is and how big the box is, so I had to get it in frame. But yeah, let's take it up. All right, here we go. The box was actually really well packed to the point where everything was snug inside, so that it's not going to be things flying all over the place. But first glance, amazing. You can see with something that they don't really do with the other Space Marines. Now I could be wrong. They could be doing this with, I believe, Reboot Gilliman. I know that was the first Primarch that they made from JoyToy, but they haven't done this edge highlighting since the version 1.0s. So I'm glad that they're bringing it back for this. I'm really glad that they did, or that they did, because even though the green is pretty you know it's a green, but at certain shades you can see that it's almost a very dark green that it almost looks black. So I'm so glad that they did that, and I hope they continue this with their Space Marines. But they produce so many Space Marines that I can see why they just decided to stick with no edge highlighting. But you know, if they do decide it, great. If they don't, it makes sense because you want to keep it. They want to keep it consistent. So yeah. So let's scale with the accessories, and we will push this guy back. Stay back there. So let's begin with the Watchers. These little dudes. Now, I'm not too well versed with who these guys particularly are. All I know is that they are there to serve and are loyal to the Primarchs, and if not, some high commanding Space Marines. So I'm not even sure if they're human or they're mutants. All I know is that they have cute little Space Marine boots. So that's someone called that out, I believe, on Reddit or one of the Warhammer forums, and I just thought that was pretty adorable. So yeah, and even see some gloves there. But in terms of design, I mean, it doesn't articulate, which is okay. I mean, they're really there just to pose around the lion as he's doing the main posing. But you can see some edge highlighting here, which I'm really glad that they did that with these. It might be a little bit dusty, but not just probably from factory. I have a little bit of dust here and there, and I really like this gunmetal here. It shines at every position you put them in, especially with the gloves there. And you can forgive me when I say what these ornaments are, but I'm assuming these are relics or some sort of sacred relics. Same thing here. Like I said, I'm not too well versed in. I just know the bare bones, and yeah, I'll have to do some research after this video. There's just so much, so what I pretty much do from what I stated in the other JoyToy figure, I just take it in chunks. I don't like to take it all at once because I'm just going to forget it. So I'd rather slowly ingest it, and then it'll just go with the flow, naturally come to me. I'll remember whenever I meet other Warhammer enthusiasts. But yeah, I'll put this to the side. This guy right here, same thing. The Imperium, I believe. Imperium symbol. Go around. Some edge highlighting here. It's real nice. So I wonder what's under the hood. Maybe they're headless. This one is supposed to be holding the... Not too sure what that piece is. Once I put everything together, I'll show you what this is. This figure comes with 2 pairs of hands. This one pair is some fists. Same edge highlighting there. Other pair. Some kind of holding out, palms, some open palms there. Edge highlighting there. And his third pair actually are on his hands or his arms already. So he comes like this in the box, new, and it's his holding his sword or his shield, which I will get to that in a bit. So he has 4 sets of heads. He has this head. Bring him in closer. Now, what I saw in another video, I was kind of confused on what they meant by the head coming off easily, and it just pops off. Even though this is a ball joint here, you can see kind of a ball joint there. He just pops in. And that's it. I mean, obviously you don't want to carry any figure from the head, but this is just so that you don't have such a hard time getting the head piece off. So I'm really glad that they did that. I will have, it's gonna kind of get used to having that, but I mean, I have no problem. I'm new to it, and I don't see any future issues. Nope, complaints there. Take this head off. Put this other head on. This is his unhelmeted, hooded head or sculpt, and it looks decently good. I mean, it doesn't look too bad compared to the other one. I mean, it's pretty much the same. I didn't realize he had a ponytail. Pretty much the same. I mean, the print's gonna be a little bit off on this one only because it has an underhood or it's two pieces, so you can kind of see. You know, they had sculpted the hood, and then they just stuck in the head. And I mean, the print is really nice. Same thing with this one. A lot of detail there. You know, the more you mess with these figures, the more you realize, oh, that's where my money went. That's where I paid the extra 20, for I almost thought I dropped it. 20, 40, 50 bucks on. It's real nice. And this is his helmeted, hooded head. It looks pretty nice. You know, it's attention to detail. You know, they didn't just put the rivets there. They had one being covered. It's just, you know, it's just a nice little detail that they added. Edge highlighting there. This hood, though, does not have edge highlighting. You can kind of see on the fabric. It's just soft plastic. Has some edge highlighting. A little bit there. But this hood does not have any. Has shade, but not any highlights. Yeah. Then my favorite piece. This here. This is just amazing. This, when I first saw the pictures on the Sons of the Force, I fell in love with this helmet. This design is just so Brotherhood Knight, you know, piece there. It just so menacing. I don't. It's like what I stated before. The red on the green is just such a good combination, especially since it's dark green. It's really nice. See some gunmetal there, some gold here, a little bit off camera there. So I'm gonna keep this on the figure, and yeah, we'll have this just displayed for now. Let me pop that in. Sweet. Awesome. There we go. And lastly, no! His sword came off. Forgot to mention. His sword came off, so I'll have to... Give me 1 second. And lastly, his last two accessories. So, first glance, I'm going to focus on this one real quick. Could be mistaken. I feel this could be a almost what we would consider a motivational or inspiring piece. The watchers bring this or wave this around, and then they're like, "Oh, the lion's here." Motivational boost or whatever the term is called. Yeah, I'm assuming this is what this piece is. I didn't do any research. I know there's a sacred seal there, so it does mean something. And real nice gold paint there. It's a lot more bright on camera, which I'm glad that it is. And see some skulls there. And the hilt or the actual staff itself has some some, you know, detail there. You can kind of see the dark, light green, dark green, light green. Yeah, I mean, I really like these scuffs here. I mean, it's probably not intentional. It could be just from the factory, and then the paint was just really, really soft, and it just got scraped. But I think it adds a little bit more detail to the overall figure, or to the whole overall set piece. Yeah, and see some fabric here, soft plastic, so you can kind of bend it however you want. But because that's already how it is from the factory, it's not gonna, you know, bend anywhere else. You can do this and it'll just go back to where it was before. Yes, real nice. Oh, look at this sacred seal back here. Some of this fabric, it has some shade to it. That's real nice. Yeah. Now fealty. Just realized he has one more piece. This is the second to last piece. This is fealty. This is a sword that he gets later in the book, and somehow he just appears with it, and it's, I believe, supposed to replace a sword that he had back before he destroyed Caliban. Right now, wow, what's his name? Cypher has it. It's broken, and Cypher is carrying the last, or the two pieces of the sword. So right now, this is what he's rocking, and it's, I mean, it's a pretty cool name, Fealty. So you can see unsheaths, sheaths back, real nice. Kind of see some of the edge highlighting there. See some purity seals here. This is supposed to be, I'm assuming, what he would wrap. I mean, it's the straps itself move, so I'm assuming we can probably attach this to a, I don't know, another Space Marine. I'll have to test that around. I mean, it seems pretty wide enough for them to do such a thing. But see Judgment there. It's, I mean, honestly, a pretty cool name to give to put on a sheath. Turning it around. Now, it's funny that in the actual source material, it's supposed to be a D, but I'm assuming when JoyToy molded this particular sheath, they didn't mold it right to where this piece just smoothly goes in and looks like a B. So Judgment, it's supposed to be judgment, but I am not. Hopefully they fix it for, you know, for later releases. But I mean, I don't think it's such a bad. It doesn't deter me from purchasing this. So yeah, real nice. And then the sword, awesome. Put some pieces around. Take this piece out. There we go. So the sword, it is called Fealty, and it's a little dirty. Just probably the paint. Is the Fealty? That's what the name of the sword is, and just like the other swords that they've made, this sword has, you know, some power notes here, some highlights there. Oh yeah, just like the one that I reviewed in the deal. How it glows. It has some you know, little detail here, light gunmetal, dark gunmetal, light, dark. Yeah, I mean, this sword is probably bigger than one of the Space Marines, so I'll have to measure that. Yeah, this is pretty much the accessories here. I actually see some rust there, some, you know, what you would consider rust. Looks like it. Could be wrong. Probably pick it up on the light. Yeah, there you go. You can probably see it. So let's sheet this back in. We will move on to the lion. Okay, so the lion. First thoughts, like I said before, amazing. His head is kind of concerning me only because it doesn't look like... There we go. Sweet. Fix that. So first thoughts, it's a pretty hefty figure. There's a lot going on with this figure, and before we begin, we'll just start from the top, work our way down, and yeah, hopefully will all make sense. So like I said before, he has different helmets, and the way they designed this neck piece, it sits on a dumbbell joint, so it moves around the way you want your helmet to move, but it also sits on, I believe, a swivel, or if not, a hinge joint. I haven't taken this piece off. I don't really want to. I'll have to maybe find one of these cheap, and then I'll get my answer. But it feels like it's a swivel. It doesn't move side to side, except the neck piece, but the collar joint itself goes front and back. Yeah, you see some detail in there too, some padding, just in case he gets tired. Put this back. See some detail, obviously what I said before, some detail on his wings here. And his jetpack. So it says Valor. Nice, I didn't even see that before. It says some wings here. These wings do move, so if you ever want to move that, you can pose it however you like. So this piece itself, this jetpack, comes off pretty easy. I don't have a problem with that. It's just if you move it, if you carry it by the jetpack itself, it will come off. So be careful with that. But the jetpack itself, you can see the Imperium symbol right there. Some gunmetal paint apps over here. And see, what I like about JoyToy is they put detail in places where you wouldn't really normally think about. Just like here, you can kind of see some rust. And I mean, it's the attention to detail that I really enjoy about this company itself. And even, you can see some highlights in deep around there. Normal companies, I think, would have just completely glossed over this and not even paid attention to it. But when you start focusing on these, when you start paying, I want to say, a premium on these, you hopefully start to realize why you paid that much. So yeah, I really love seeing that. Turning it around, so this would be the outside. See the Dark Angel symbol there, the sword and wings. So the outside detail right here too, some weathering, rust weathering. This gold is a really nice gold. I don't know if it's the same gold that is used on Rogel Dorn, which is the second Primarch that they've released. I could be wrong, but this is just a very nice gold. You see the ornament there. I believe it is a crown. Not a crown, but a kind of a, I don't know, like the sun rising behind the head kind of ornament. And you see Valor, which is very on par with Dark Angels, so that's nice. But before we put the jetpack on, see some of this here. Really nice weathering on the fur itself. This is supposed to be a lion from the world of Caliban. They were considered the most ferocious and dangerous animals on Caliban. But the lion pretty much had them all obey him, and he mastered some of the monsters on Caliban. So I would have liked to see maybe, another piece or another monster from Caliban, but that's no worries there. I'm being a little bit nitpicky, but that nitpicky isn't bad. is just more of a, you know, would be really cool. Add this here, add this there. But this, I'm super happy about this. So just to put this back on, you see a little peg there, little peg hole. Put this on there. Turning it around. Start from the shoulders. And, ooh, that's what I figured. This shoulder, this pauldron is on a ball joint. Now, yes. So it looks like that it's on a hinge joint and a ball joint at the very end. So where the pauldron is at is the ball joint, and where the actual shoulder meets right here is on a hinge joint. So it allows a lot of room of mobility. So without my camera turned off, a lot of room of mobility. So that's real nice. Same thing on this side here. Kind of see it. There we go. Real nice. See the joints of the figure, the shoulder. Pushing this back in. This figure does have, so if I extend this, he does have butterfly joints. So that's honestly nice. This doesn't stretch. It just forms with the figure. So if you're scared about stretching the fabric, don't worry. I believe it won't stretch it out too much. Coming down here, you can see the Dark Angel symbol there on the chest, like most, if not all of them have. Can see some ornaments here of some skulls and coffins. They could not be coffins, but could be wrong. Can see a lion here. There's honestly a nice addition to his armor. Purity seal. Going back around, you see another lion. This is I believe what I said before, a lion from the world of Caliban. He has arms swivel. Now, be careful with this because you don't want to... Oop, there he goes. It's a little bit too loose. I'm moving this stuff around, pushing this back. So I'm going to keep this off for a little while. So, like I was saying, you don't want to swivel this too much because this does have a connecting piece of some piping there. So, yeah, just do be careful with that. You don't want to twist it and then break it off. I mean, you probably might just have to glue it back on, but you know, plan for the worst. He does have. Oops, let me see it. You know, could be wrong. Trying to see if he has. He does. Okay, so he has double jointed elbows, so that's real cool. He has the same wrist design as the other Space Marines have, where it's just the dumbbell joint. You can move it from his forearm. Oh, unless, I don't know, let me take it out. Not really, actually. I could, nope, it's just not a dumbbell, it's just a ball joint. So, that's okay. No worries there. Same thing on his other side. He uses the Dark Angel's symbol on his forearms. But yeah, as like I was saying, this arm has 2 pipes. So do be careful on breaking that. It doesn't look like it'll break, you know, on one try. Just always recommend being careful with your figures. You don't want to break them and then, you know, have to buy another one. So do be careful. This figure does have a nice, decent range of ab crunch, or is a chest crunch, I would say. In terms of ab crunch, let's see. Yeah, not bad. It's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't move too much. You gotta realize it though. These pieces, or this power armor, these power armors are not meant to be very acrobatic. So if it seems as if, you know, this guy doesn't bend too much, well, I mean, it was one of the reasons why Gilliman had such a hard time being in his power armor. I could be wrong, but there was a little bit of, not a lore dump, but I read this little piece of him, or this little story from one of his books, where he has to be in his power armor, and if he doesn't, if he gets out of it, he dies. So has to live his days where he has to get used to using his power armor 24/7. I heard where he drops this pen or pencil, tries to pick it up, but his thick fingers couldn't pick up the pencil. So, yeah, I mean, I to think that these guys can move a lot, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. But if they do, great. I mean, more posability with these figures. So, you see a belt here filled with skulls. I believe all around. Yeah, pretty much all around. Lifting up his cape. It's a little dirty. It's like I said, from the factory, but no problems there. And yeah, same thing with his underrobe. And so when I first opened, this is such a big figure. When I first opened this up, I saw his pistol, or his plasma pistol, I'm assuming. It does not move, or it does not come out. Even though this piece right here moves, bring it up closer. Even though this piece moves, it does not come out. So I saw one piece. It's a bummer. It would have been cool to see him with a removable gun, just like how I believe Rogel Dorn is. I don't have that figure, but I assume his gun comes out of his holster. But yeah, just unfortunate. It would have been a cool addition to have. See a purity seal there. Some edge highlighting there. Edge highlighting is all over this figure. Any piece that has armor, edge highlighting. So, yeah, and then going down, you see his shoulder, his knee pads. Purity seal there. Oh man, I love purity seals. I just love the way they look on the armor themselves. So I could be wrong what these iconographies are. I actually, speaking of that, I forgot to talk about this here. This is other pauldron. His left side just says his name, L. Johnson. It has the Dark Angels symbol there with, I presume or assume, is a Dark Angel holding a sword. So that is real cool. But drop it back down. I want to assume or say that this one represents the one or first company of the Dark Angels, and this cross swords here represents the Deathwing. No, unless the Deathwing is the skull and swords cross. I forget to memorize those things. So yeah, hopefully I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, people correct me in the comments. I would love to know more about the Legion that I chose, and if I remember to correct myself later in the future, lovely. So yeah, coming down his legs, see some skulls there. He does have, so I should have talked about his joints. Actually, no, I'll talk about his joints later. That's pretty much it for his legs. He has edge highlighting everywhere, and yeah, it's really nice, detailed. Besides the detail of Lion, there's no complaints, just other than what was it? I already forgot. Crazy. Well, yeah, just other than his backpack. It's not even really a detail thing. It's just more of a, I wish it was a lot more snug. I can probably just put some, what was it? Quickie? It's a liquid that you use to kind of stiffen up or fill in a little bit of the joints. But I probably might not do it. I mean, I'm not gonna be playing with him, crashing into other heretics or any other, toys, any other toys that I have. So if it's just like that, no problem. But talk about joints here. He has a pretty good range. I mean, trying to see. Yeah, I mean, he does almost a flat horizontal. Yeah. I mean, it could be. So this piece right here has a lot more range compared to this shoulder pad or pauldron. I think it's pauldron. I think it's called pauldron. If not, then shoulder pad, whichever one. It has less range compared to his right arm, so it looks like it's not fully going up. That's the reason why. Like I said before, he has swivel there, double elbow joints there, wrist ball joint there, chest ab. His legs don't go that far up. Let me see. Oh, nice. Ooh, look at this. So you can probably make him taller if you want. Jeez. Which doesn't look proportionate. But if you want, these are big ball joints too, so yeah. Push that back up in there. Doesn't have a lot of range when it comes to his legs. I'm trying to maneuver this. His legs, only because of his robe, so he doesn't get a lot of range there. Going it back down. That's probably why I haven't. I'll fix his stance later. And he does have, I believe, double jointed knees. He does. Look at that. It doesn't go all the way up, like I said, because of the robes. So, when you'll really ever have him like this, I don't know. But I won't really have him fully crunching his knees there. And it's a ball joint on his ankles. And some toe articulation. Not a lot, but it's, there. Yeah. This figure overall is amazing. I will compare him in size to my other figures that I have from JoyToy. So let me set all that up and I'll show you the size comparison. All right, so the line is huge. You can adjust his hips, and you can kind of adjust them either down or shorter. He can probably go even higher than that, but there's no reason to. This dude's huge. This dude is stacked, which in lore he is supposed to be that tall. I believe he is probably the 5th, 6th tallest Primarch, with Ferrus Manus being or if not Angron, depending on which Angron you want to choose, because Angron goes into what you call demon mode, so he becomes a way much taller. But in just human form, Ferrus Manus, I believe, is the tallest. And then after that is Vulcan, after that is Angron, then Horus, then Sanguinius, then the Lion, Gilliman, what's his name? Khan. I always forget his name. Pretty much the Genghis Khan of Warhammer. But yeah, it did just go shorter there. But these guys are standing at, I believe, 4.5 inches tall, head to toe. The Lion, actually no, this guy right here is standing at, no, he's, yeah, 4.2, 4.5, and then 7.1. And that does change depending on how you adjust the hips there. Yeah, this dude's huge. So let's get him. Oh, peace there. So let's get him with some of his accessories, and then we'll wrap up the video. I forgot to mention his shield. How can I forget this? This is the Man Emperor's, or the Emperor of Mankind shield. I don't know how I forgot this. I had this kind of tucked away in a weird spot, so I totally forgot about it. Yes, this is the shield that he now uses. This is passed down from the God Emperor to the Lion. Gilliman got his flaming sword. I forgot what the flaming sword's name was. But the Lion got his shield. Hopefully you... Sorry about that. My dog wanted to leave my room. But yes, this is the Man Emperor's shield. And this is passed down to the Lion. Great detail there. I see some power nodes back here. Gunmetal. Like, see, so this is stuff that you won't even really be seeing because he'll be holding it. But they even decided to paint it. So that's nice. I mean, besides, this all black. But even the all black has some rust weathering. Some gunmetal paint there. Gold, on the outsides. In the front, see some purity seals there. The eagle there. I don't know what this sun means. It could be maybe Terra, but doesn't make any sense because it looks like it's a star. And there's, snake eating the eagle, or the bird. I don't know if it's an actual eagle. Bird eating the snake. Yeah, I mean, this will be a really nice addition to... I'm glad that they actually decided to do this with the Lion. So, yeah, I don't know how I forgot about this, but real nice. That gold here, real nice. So, one thing that I noticed when adding this shield on, the way they designed it was that they have these little latches here that hooks on to the forearm shield plate. So whenever you pose it, it'll just, continuously lock on. Continuously lock on to the plate itself, so it's not going all over the place. That's real cool. All right. So let me adjust the camera there. So this is the Lion, and pretty much I will be taking pictures and posting them on my Instagram, which is the same handle as my Lupe the Toy Lord. Final thoughts of this figure. This is going to be a long video, but hopefully quick summarization of this figure. This figure is honestly going to be my figure of the year. I honestly think it can take that title. I haven't opened up any of my other figures that I will have on the way, but for now, figure of the year. I'm amazed by the detail. I am amazed by how well it articulates. Given how clunky the figure looks, it just works really well. And yeah, they pretty much got the lore accurate Warhammer Lion into an action figure, which when companies do lore accurate characters, because not only are you getting a piece, not only are you watching the material, but you're getting an exact representation of that material, but in a miniature form. And that's why I love collecting toys, because I get to see my heroes and I get to put them up on my shelves. So as kid as that sounds, still, thinking about heroes and superheroes. And I hope JoyToy continues this trend of making Primarchs. Now, I don't know if they're going to continue with the 40k verse, because I know they just almost ended that era. Because then they released Sparkle Dorn, who died before 40k. I could be wrong. Gilliman is still there. He has his 40k design. The Lion, right here, has his 40k design. They released they announced a Horus Lupercal. And they also released some more Sons of Horus figurines. So I'll maybe get a couple of those. I really like the design of those Sons of Heresy power armors for Sons of Horus. Now, if this is a Telltale, they will more likely release a Sanguinius. No doubt about it. I don't know the calendar for this year. I know that the last year's calendar, apparently there was a huge deal about it. Someone leaked it from a private conversation with JoyToy, and when they shouldn't have. And then we got what was going to be coming out. But yes, I do believe Sanguinius is coming out real soon. After him, I can possibly see Angron come out, because the Lion does fight Angron. So who knows? Maybe we might get his demon form. I'm not too sure how many forms he has, but I know for sure that he has his demon form that he fights the Lion with. And after that, maybe Vulcan. They haven't given any love to the Salamanders, which I hope Vulcan comes out, because Vulcan would be a really nice Primarch to have. Yeah, I hope I didn't take everyone's time out. I know there's not a lot of videos. There's probably, I think, 3 videos on the Lion, and I hope I tackled everything that needs to be tackled. If there is something that I did miss, let me know. I will for sure see to that I, correct myself. Who knows? Maybe I might do a part 2 of this figure. 1 month having this figure, or 2 months, whatever the case may be. And like I said, there's a lot of detail that I might have overseen, and I just didn't, have a chance to talk about. But I will add more additional pictures, like I said before, on my Instagram and on Monday. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah, and like I said, I want to give a huge thanks to my family and friends, and that 12th subscriber that I got. I know they commented on my 3rd Jiraiya video. And yeah, I want to say welcome. And I'm trying to think of an outro. I was looking up some PewDiePie videos, and I don't know, maybe he was onto something. But yeah. Oh no! Put this guy out of the way. But just like how I did Jiraiya's. Bye.